It's now time for the big reveal. Hello and welcome back to the Volkswizard channel, and welcome to part 2 of the Mk8 Golf R brake upgrade on my Mk7 Golf GTI Clubsport S. This upgrade applies to too many cars to list here, but it's a relatively simple bit of DIY on Mk7 and 7.5 GTI and R, Seat Leon Cupra, Skoda Octavia VRS and Audi S3 8V generation and pre-facelift 8Y. So these videos will give you all the info on how to fit them and how they perform. Now in part 1 I test fitted them, and apart from a couple of hiccups that went really well. In episode 3 I'm going to be testing them on track. So by the end of this video, part 2, they need to be on the car in full working order with new brake pads and splash guards. But before they go back on the car, because they're currently off the car, I'm going to weigh them to see how they compare with the original parts. First though, we're going to take them to BCS, brake caliper specialists in Nottingham, who are going to give them a check over and transform their appearance so they're much more on brand than they currently are. Okay, I'm now at BCS, and they're actually in Long Eaton, which is south of Nottingham, very close to Derby, very easy access from the M1, but you don't have to deliver your calipers, you can do the mail order. It's just I'm a bit short for time because the track day's at the end of next week. So hopefully in about a week I'll be back to collect them, and they'll look very different to how they look now. Okay, the calipers are in this box, and yeah, I think I said earlier in the video that they're going to come back much more on brand than they were before. Well, over the week that they were here, I had a bit of a change of plan as to what I was going to have on them, and when you see them you will understand what I mean about them being on brand. So let's get them back to base and I'll show you exactly what they look like now. Okay, it's now time for the big reveal of my calipers that have been given a new lease of life by BCS. Ta-da! So as you might have guessed, they're red, but contrary to what I was originally planning to do with them, I didn't get the GTI logo put on them. I had my new logo put on them, which is using sort of a Porsche font, and it's the typeface I'm going to use from now on for everything, advertising and so on. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. My logic was that if I want to sell them in the future, when I put the car back to standard, it'll be easier to sell them if it doesn't say GTI or R, because it doesn't limit it to a particular model. Then it might even look good on a Seat Leon Cupra, for example. So yeah, lovely job. It's about £300. They checked them over as well, and I'm super happy. They did say with something we want to talk to you about when you come and pick them up, and I was a bit concerned, but they found a bit of corrosion on this plate, which is separate to the main caliper. It's bonded and clipped into place. I think it's made of aluminium, and there's a little bit of imperfection in the paint there, but you wouldn't notice it now, and you definitely won't notice it on the car. You definitely won't notice it on the car after a track day when they're covered in sort of black stuff. I've also fitted the brake pads, which are EBC blue stuff. No, I know they don't go with the calipers, but I used them in the original calipers on my Clubsport S at the last track day, and they were spot on. They're recommended by the guys at EBC because previously I was using yellow stuff, but these are superior, very quick bed-in time and less prone to fade, and they were fantastic when I used them at Bedford in, I think it was October last year. Also, big shout out to the guys at APS in Brackley for sorting me out the splash guard, which I'd overlooked. So this one is part number 5WA615312A, and this is for the offside. Now though, let's see how much everything weighs, because it's highly likely it's going to weigh more than the Clubsport S original parts. So this is the 2-piston from the Mk8, and that is 8.73 kilograms. Let's now try the one piston from the Clubsport S and so many other cars. I'd have to do a whole video just telling you what else it fits. So 7.2, so 1.5 kilograms heavier for 2 pistons. I don't think that's too bad. Now the disc, so we've gone up about 5%, is it? So 340 mil versus 357 mil. As you can see there, by the same manufacturer, they're just a bigger version of the original disc. So let's start off with the big one then, which I'm going to have to hold on here because it's big. So let's just get that resting. So hopefully you can see that 12.2. And then quite a big difference actually, isn't that interesting? 9.5, so 2.7 difference. So we've only gone up 5% in the actual diameter, but we've gone up quite a lot more when it comes to the weight. Well, they better be good then, haven't they? Something else I want to show you. The car's been without its calipers for quite a long time now. I could have put the old ones back on, but that's just such a pain. Yeah, so a few years ago when I was doing a brake fluid change on my 981 Boxster GTS, and I broke nearly all the brake nipples trying to do that, Matt at Furn Support was going to fix them, and he suggested that I buy these sort of things you screw onto the brake lines that means the fluid doesn't come out when your calipers aren't there. So check them out on eBay. Even though the hoses are bigger when they go to the caliper, these connections on the body are the same as the Porsche and the same as the Clubsport S and the Mk8 R as well. Now before we start fitting them, I just want to show you the spring system on the new calipers compared to the old one. So on the new caliper you have these intricate clips that hold the pad in place really securely. On the one piston caliper there's a spring section built into the pad, and it's made of metal that's, I guess, can lose its springiness quite easily, particularly if you're putting a lot of load through the pad, driving it hard on track. The more this flexes, the more it will lose its elasticity and lose its springiness. So that might explain why there's a problem with the clanking coming from the front axle of my car, which I think is either the pads, but since I made the first video, I've seen a report where 2-piece discs can cause a clanking noise, and that's because the braking section is suspended from the bell by these pins, and whenever you incorporate something like this, there's always the possibility that there will be some noise. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it was that causing the problem on my car. And it was worse when the weather was warm, which is interesting. But then these, I think that's aluminium, that's steel, they'll expand at different rates. So yeah, hopefully, anyway, this time it'll be gone. I'm not going to fit any grease to these pads. If they squeak a bit, then so be it. But it's a track car and I'm not too bothered. If they do, I just know how hot they're going to get on track, and yeah, grease really doesn't like heat, causes a lot of smoke when it gets really hot. So I just need to fit them to the car. Don't need to show you that process because that's all in episode 1, so if you missed that, check that out. What I do need to show you is, hopefully, how good they look on the car. Okay, so the discs, pads and calipers are now on with the new splash guards, and I've also bled all 4 corners of the car simply because if you're going to go to a track day, it's always good to go there with fresh brake fluid because it can get very hot. I'm very happy with the way they look, but if you know this channel, you'll know looks are important, but they're not as important as how things perform, and we're going to find that out in the next episode at the How Fast event at Bedford Autodrome. So there's some time lapse. I think I set a lap in this car on the original brakes, so we'll see if I can go any quicker with these brakes. I can't wait to see. As ever guys, thanks for watching this volkswizard video. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, and I'll see you for the next one very soon.